Uganda must deal with fiscal indiscipline issues as a pathway to economic recovery, with the IMF growth target now recorded at 5.1% in its latest outlook.
What we have to evaluate is the policies. Are the policies going to bring us back on a growth path that we witnessed before COVID? If yes, growth is the way out of that. So your dimension of accountability is the important one that is present across all policy spheres, whether we're talking about revenue collection.
All this according to the International Monetary Fund, amidst serious spending pressures, termed in a new word by the lender a trilemma.
Already the trilemma introduces a complexity of policies. You want to have policies that increase revenue generation, not at this point. The factories are already struggling. You want to cut down your expenditure, you can't. So the trilemma seems to be saying we need a complete new set of policies. We need to readjust to address the emerging concerns, the short term. This is not the time you want to be discussing the standard gauge rail. This is not the time you want to be discussing, I want to do this. Because you should be addressing the short-term requirements of expenditure. To deal with health, revive your education, you must still invest in your road network, to keep your productivity, to keep your production going up. So that requires completely a new set of policies compared to what we had projected and plugged into the system 2 years ago. Now, are we ready to change those policies? Is the trilemma question again.
Huge constraints, but on the part of government, in the face of slower recovery, at least across Sub-Saharan Africa, a positive growth outlook of 5.1% could be a sign of better things to come.
If you also look at our chart of fiscal responsibility that now we have just met, we want to ensure that we reduce domestic borrowing. But if we have to borrow because of the needs that we may face, then we are going for concessional financing. And that's what Isabella was talking about. We are going more to concessional financing rather than domestic borrowing. But that's a problem that is clear, is a problem that we have had in the last 5 years.
A recent Ministry of Finance June 2021 report shows total public debt stock is $19 billion from $15.12 billion. And factoring in a recent supplementary budget request of more than 2 trillion shillings, additional borrowing will increase public debt to GDP ratio from the projected 52.7% to 54%.